trigonometric inequations. Trigonometric inequations. So for solving trigonometric equations, guys, the best way is to go by graphical angle. Go from graphical perspective. So you may be given a complicated inequality, but if you are able to break it down into a simpler inequality, always go from a graphical perspective. Now, I would like to discuss this with an example instead of giving you a generic, theory on this. Let me take an example for you. Let us say I want to solve sin x is greater than half. Let's say I want to solve this. Okay. Now, how would I solve this? I would first draw the graph of sin x function. We all have seen the graph of sin x before, so it's not a surprise to us, or it's not a difficult task for us to make the graph of sin x. So this is your graph of sin x. Okay. Like this. Okay, it'll keep on going on and on forever. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a line y equal to half. So I'm now going to make a line y equal to half. So this line that you see is your line y equal to half. Okay. So which two graphs have I made? I have made two graphs here. One is sin x graph and other is y equal to half graph. Now when you say you are solving this inequation, it is equivalent to saying for what values of x is the graph of sin x above the graph of the y equal to half line, right? So as you can see, this zone, and so many other zones will come up where the graph of sin x is greater than half. Okay, let's take any one of the intervals. For example, let me take this interval. Let me take this gap. Can you tell me what will be the angle here and what will be the angle here? Can anybody tell me? That's very easy to solve because it is like that point where sin x becomes equal to half. So I am sure when sin x becomes half, x will be 30 degree and this guy will be 150 degree. Correct? Absolutely. So can I say when your x lies between pi by 6 to 5 pi by 6, your sin x graph would be lying above y equal to half graph. But let me tell you, there are so many intervals like this. This is just one of those infinitely many intervals. So how would you write your all intervals? So what do we do is we basically add n times the fundamental period of this function to the upper and the lower limit. Okay, so we basically add this to the upper and the lower limits. Where your t is the fundamental period of the given function. So here in case of sin x, your period is 2 pi. So what we are going to do is we are going to say that your x will lie between 2n pi plus pi by 6 to 2n pi plus 5 pi by 6, and we take a union of this for n belonging to all integers. I remember having taken up a question like this with you before. Okay, but this is now formally I'm telling you how to solve these kind of questions. Is the idea clear in your mind how to deal with such questions? Is the approach clear? If this approach is clear, I would give you some questions to solve. Let's try to solve those questions. Yes, why not? Let's take a question with cos. Let's take a question with cos. I would like you to solve now. Cos x is greater than equal to minus half. A very simple inequation involving cos x function. Try this out. Cos x is greater than equal to minus half. Very good. Very good, Kshitij. Okay. Again, this is a simple question. Let's talk about two graphs here. Y is equal to cos x and y is equal to minus half. Now you want to know when is your cos x graph equal or higher than the graph of minus half, y equal to minus half. So let's make a graph of cos x. We'll take a interval and then extend it to other intervals. So let's say I take this graph. Yeah, this is the graph of cos x. Now y equal to minus half, will be a line which is going this way. Okay. Now when is your graph of cos x lying above the graph of minus half? So you can say, let's take a small interval over here. So it is this zone that your cos x graph is lying higher than the graph of minus half. By the way, we all know that this value is minus 2 pi by 3. This value is 2 pi by 3. We all know that. Correct? This is your x values. So you can say x should belong to minus 2 pi by 3. In fact, you can include it because it is greater than equal to 2 pi by 3. Okay. So let's generalize this. Remember, your interval, your cos x has got a period of 2 pi. So your answer will be x belongs to 2n pi minus 2 pi by 3 to 2n pi plus 2 pi by 3. And just take a union of this answer for all n belonging to integers. For all n belonging to integers. Is that clear? Yes, yes. All the trig functions will follow same rule. Okay, we'll take multiple examples today. Clear? Any questions? Please do let me know. Cos x period. What is cos x period? Cos x period is 2 pi. Or O. Okay. Why do we need to do the union? Wow, that's a good question. Oshik, if you draw this in a very small way, you will understand why do we need to do a union. Let's say this is your cos x graph. I'm just drawing the cos x graph. You want to know when is your cos x graph greater than equal to half. I'm just drawing a lot of intervals over here so that you are aware of it. Okay. When is your graph of cos x greater than equal to minus half? So your answer will comprise several intervals. Your answer will have this interval. Your answer will have this interval. Your answer will have this interval, the one which I'm shading with white. Your answer will have this interval. Your answer will have this interval. Correct? So at a periodic interval, these white patches are appearing. That's why we need to take the union of all those patches, and hence there is a union symbol. Got it? Is that fine? We'll talk about some questions, don't worry. Aryan, would you like me to explain this again, or is it like understood now? Yes. So those intervals would be repeated for different values of n. Got it, Oshik? Okay. Let's take another question. Let's take this question. Find the set of values of uh, theta which satisfy this inequality. Sine square x is greater than cos square x. I think a small mistake, Kshitish. Please check it out again. No, 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 not that. Pi by 2 that you have written, no. I think that should be different. Check it out. Okay, Oshik. Okay, Pradyun, Oro, very good. Ansh. Okay, let's look into this problem. Can I write this as cos square x minus sine square x less than 0? I'm bringing the sine square to the other side. Okay. We all know that this is cos 2x. Okay. Cos 2x less than 0. Right? Now, if you make a cos 2x graph, let me tell you one thing, my dear students. Cos 2x graph would be the graph of cos x, which is squeezed. That means it will be compressed along the x-axis. So instead of cutting at pi by 2, now it will cut at pi by 4. Okay. This will become pi by 2. Right? This will become minus pi by 4. Right? This will become 3 pi by 4. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point here? Okay. Now, less than 0. Less than 0 means when is it below the x-axis? When is it below the x-axis? So one case where you can see it below the x-axis is in this zone. Correct? That means your x should lie between pi by 4 to 3 pi by 4. Correct? Now, what is the period of this function? Who will tell me the period of this function? Anybody can tell me the period of cos 2x? N pi. Yes, period is pi. Right? So your answer will be your x should lie from n pi plus pi by 4 to n pi plus 3 pi by 4. Are you getting this? Okay. So you can say your x will belong to the union of open interval n pi plus pi by 4, sorry, to n pi plus 3 pi by 4. How is pi the period? Okay. If you look at this trend, this is the, you can say, the peak of this graph. When is the peak coming again? Here, correct? By the way, this will be pi. Okay. This will be 5 pi by 4. Are you getting my point? So the distance between one peak to the other peak, you can call it as your period. So this period is going to be pi. This period is going to be pi. Okay. I'll just give you a brief idea about this. As a formula, if you have, let's say, a function whose period is t, then if you do f of ax, your period will become t by mod a. So if your cos x has a period of 2 pi, cos 2x will have a period of 2 pi by 2, which is pi. Okay, so this will become your answer. I think none of you could get this answer. All of you made some mistake. We'll see, Aryan, if time permits, we'll take up limits also. But I really doubt whether time will permit us, because I can find that you people are making mistakes in equations involving trig functions. Okay, let's take another case. Let's take another question. Sorry, not case. Try this one out. 4 sine square x minus 8 sine x plus 3 is less than equal to 0. Give me the general solution for this. Yeah, Gurman. Do you have any doubt with that? Any questions you have? Cos to the cos square x is 1 minus sine square x. Okay, that is fine. The result will not change. Is the result changing for you? Oh, okay, okay. We'll check it out after we do this question. Correct, Oro? Very good. Kshitij, small mistake. Check it out. No, Ushik. Ushik, you're not getting the point here. You can't have such answers coming up. No, Gurman. Okay, let's see here. Is it factorizable, first of all? 12. Yes, it is factorizable as minus 6 sin x minus 2 sin x. Okay. So let's take 2 sin x common. So it is becoming 2 sin x minus 3. Let's take minus 1 common, again 2 sin x minus 3. Okay. So this becomes 2 sin x minus 1 times 2 sin x minus 3 less than equal to 0. Now let me tell you, this quantity will always be negative. Why? Because at the max sin x can become 1. So at the max 2 sin x can become a 2. So 2 minus 3 will be negative. Right. So can I say it is as good as solving this guy is positive? Correct. Which means your sin x becomes greater than equal to half. Isn't it the first question that we did today? Not today. I mean, after the break. Okay. Isn't it? Quickly drawing the graph for the same. So this is your sin x. Okay. Greater than equal to half means equal or above this line. Right. Now, do you recall we had done this question in the just after the break? So this part, which is pi by 6 to 5 pi by 6. So your answer will be 2n pi plus pi by 6 to 2n pi plus 5 pi by 6. Oh, sorry, square brackets, because half is being included here. Union of all these values for n belonging to integer. So your x should belong to this. Is that clear? Guys, this was easy question. I don't know why you... Yeah, Sanjana, you just have to add 2n pi to both the intervals. Come on, guys, this was solvable. This was highly solvable. Okay, no problem, no problem. Let's take one more. Not one more, we'll take few more till we are confident about the concept. Yeah. 2 cos square x plus sin x is less than equal to 2. Yeah, sure, Ansh. Oro, no, that's not correct. Okay, let's discuss this. See, first of all, we'll write this as 1 minus sine square x plus sine x minus 2 less than equal to 0. So this is like saying sine x minus 2 sine square x is less than equal to 0. Take sine x common. 1 minus 2 sine x is less than, sorry, 1 minus 2 sine x is less than equal to 0. Correct? Or you can say sine x into 2 sine x, or let me just write it down like this, into sine x minus half is greater than equal to 0. Okay. Now, for this to happen, for this to happen, either sine x must be less than equal to 0, right? And and sine x minus half should be also less than equal to 0. Correct? That means both are negative. Okay. Or if both are positive. So case 1 is this, case 2 is this. Yes or no? If product of two things is positive, either both could be negative or both could be positive. Correct? Okay. But remember, when you are trying to solve, let's say the first condition, sin x is less than 0 and sin x is less than half. First condition. Can I say when sin x is less than 0, automatically sin x will be less than half? That condition will be taken care. Am I right? So if you draw the graph, sin x is like this Okay, you're trying to say sin x is less than equal to 0 means it is below the x-axis, and sin x is below the line y equal to half. So it is as good as saying this. The overlap of these two is as good as this condition. Correct? So this is as good as saying sin x is less than 0. Okay. Can I say out of these two, this is as good as saying sin x is greater than half? Correct? Now, what do I have to do with these two conditions? We have to take their union, my dear friends, because these are cases. These are cases. Any doubt so far? Oh, yes, why not? Why not? So, he's suggesting, can I use wavy curve on sin x? Yes, of course, plus, minus, plus, same condition will come out. Right? Okay. I just wanted to show you that wavy curve and this will give you the same answer. Right? Now, sin x less than 0, sin x less than 0, I can say your answer will be, I can take any interval I want. Let me take minus pi by 2 to 0. So x will belong to minus pi by 2 to 0. And sin x greater than half, I can take an interval pi by 6 to 5 pi by 6. Okay, and take their union. Take their union. Okay. So in order to write a generic case, you need to take a sum of 2n pi with each of these limits that you have written. Is that fine? Any questions here? Any questions, please do ask. Good enough? Okay, we'll take more questions. Let's do this one. Let's take tan this time. We have not taken tan x for a while now. So tan cube x plus 3 is greater than 3 tan x plus tan square x. Try this out. Correct, Kshitij. Good. Anybody else? This is easy. I think easier as compared to the previous ones. So first step that you would write is you bring the right hand side terms to the left hand side. Something like this. Okay. Take tan square x common. Correct. So that would give you tan square x minus 3 times tan x minus 1 greater than 0. This can be further factorized as tan x minus root 3 tan x plus root 3 into tan x minus 1. Now we can use our wavy curve here as well. When we use our wavy curve, remember I'm drawing the wavy curve for tan x. So positive means you can either be less than, so your tan x can lie between minus root 3 to 1, okay, union root 3 to infinity. Okay. Now refer to any standard graph of tan x. Refer to any standard graph of tan x. Let's say this is your graph of tan x. One of the branches I'm drawing. Not a very great one, but I'll redraw it again with white. Let's say I draw a graph like this. This is the graph of tan x. Okay. Now minus root 3 line will be somewhere over here. So this value will be, let's say, minus root 3. Minus root 3 is going to be minus pi by 6. Okay. 1 is going to be pi by 4. Okay. And root 3 will be again pi by, sorry, minus pi by 3, not pi by 6, pi by 3. And plus root 3 will be at pi by 3. Okay. Now you are either allowed to be between minus root 3 to 1. That means your x is either allowed to be between minus pi by 3 to pi by 4 or root 3 to infinity. Now infinity will be achieved at pi by 2. So you can, or you can say tending to pi by 2. So your x will be allowed to be in this interval. So is this transition clear to all of you? Is this transition clear to all of you? Because this is the main part. After that, you have to just add n into n period to each of these upper and lower limits. So you can either be in this zone or O. So for being in this zone, your x should be in this zone. Correct? So that is this interval. Or you could be in this zone. Okay. So for that, your x has to be from pi by 6 to pi by 2. Because at pi by 2, it will become asymptotic. Clear? Aryan, is it clear? Look at your y-axis. Along y-axis, your graph should be from negative root 3 to 1. So negative root 3 to 1, as you can see, I have made a white representation for it. Your x should be from here to here. So you have to write your x actually. This is your y. Think as if this is your y, you have to write an x for it. So if you want to be from minus root 3 to 1, your x has to be from minus pi by 3 to pi by 4. Minus pi by 3 to pi by 4. And if you want to be from root 3 to infinity, your x should be from pi by, sorry, this is pi by 3, not pi by 3 to pi by 2. Because at pi by 2, tan x will attain infinity, right? Clear, Aryan? Now, all you need to do is just add n pi. Now, don't ask me why I'm adding n pi, because tan is periodic with pi. Tan is periodic with pi. Okay. So union of these values for n belonging to integer. Is this clear, everybody? Any questions, any concerns, please do let me know. Got it? Okay. Try this one. Next question. Anybody who wants to copy this, please do so, because I'm now going to the next sheet. Okay, try this one. Sine 2x is greater than root 2 sine square x plus 2 minus root 2 cos square x. Hint is try to write everything in terms of tan. Done, anybody? Okay, let me just take this up. You can write this sine of 2x as 2 sine x cos x greater than uh, under root 2 sine square x plus 2 minus root 2 cos square x. Okay. Now divide throughout with cos square x. Okay. Divide by cos square x. So if you do that, this becomes 2 tan x. This becomes root 2 tan square x. And this becomes 2 minus root 2. Okay. You can take away root 2 from everywhere. So you can say tan square x minus root 2 tan x plus root 2 minus 1 is less than 0. Is that clear? Any questions so far? Okay. Now this is factorizable actually. Let me show you how. You can write this as tan square x minus tan x minus root 2 tan x plus tan x plus root 2 minus 1. Okay. So this you can write it as tan x into tan x minus 1. This, in these two terms, you can actually take negative root 2 minus 1 common. So that will give you again tan x minus 1. Check this out. So this gives you tan x minus root 2 minus 1, tan x minus 1 less than 0. Okay. Now if you make a wavy curve for the same, root 2 minus 1 is here, 1 is here, plus minus plus. So your tan x should lie between root 2 minus 1 to 1. Now, if you remember your submultiple angle identities, when does tan x become root 2 minus 1? Does anybody know this value? When x is? No, not 15 degree. Not 15 degree. No. 22.5 degree. Yes. Pi by 8. Okay. So your x will lie between pi by 8 to pi by 4. And just add the period of n pi to each of the upper and the lower limits of this interval and take a union of this answer. That would become your answer. Okay. Oh, by the way, square brackets will not be included. My bad. It was only less than 0. Sorry. Brackets are slightly different. So it is less than 0, not less than equal to. So round brackets. Is that fine? Any questions? Any questions? Okay. So we'll take another one. Solve this inequality. 5 by 4 sine square x plus sine square x into cos square x is greater than cos 2x. Yes, unsure. You're supposed to know that. Your call, Oro, if that helps. Doesn't help. Okay. In the interest of time, I'll also contribute here. Uh, okay, fine. So just let me write this step. After that, I'll stop. So I think today we cannot start with limits. We'll start with limits the next class. Limits will minimum take 2 classes because I'll be introducing you to a lot of other concepts. We'll touch upon all the 7 forms of indeterminacy, and then we'll start with straight lines. Why 4n plus 1 and all? Okay, let's discuss this. See, my suggestion would be first of all, we all understand that 4 sine square cos square is sine square 2x, right? So my suggestion here would be to convert everything in terms of cos 2x, right? Convert everything in terms of cos 2x. So this we can write it as 5 by 2 into 2 sine square x. Sine square 2x is 1 minus cos square 2x. And this is already in terms of cos 2x. So let me bring it to one side. Okay. From your multiple angle identities, we know that from your multiple angle identities, you know that 2 sine square x is 1 minus cos 2x by 1 minus cos 2x. Correct. So this term will become 5 by 2, 1 minus cos 2x. Okay. Multiply with a 2 throughout. Okay. So this gives you minus 2 cos square 2x minus 13 cos 2x plus 7 greater than 0. That means 2 cos square 2x plus 13 cos 2x minus 7 is less than 0. I believe it is factorizable. Correct? Okay, so this is 2 cos 2x minus 1 into cos 2x plus 7 is less than 0. Now remember, this term will always be positive. This term will always be positive because cos 2x plus 7 cannot be lesser than 6. Okay, so this term must be negative. That means cos of 2x must be less than half. Must be less than half. Okay, let us draw the graph of cos 2x for it. That will give us a clear insight on the intervals that we need to choose. Okay, now remember, cos 2x graph you are plotting, not the graph of cos x. So this is going to be pi by 4. Okay, this is going to be minus pi by 4. Getting the point here, right? So now your graph has to be below the line y equal to half. So let's say this is your line y equal to half. Okay, let us take one of these intervals. I suggest you tell me this interval. So let's take this part. That means I want you to give me this interval, the one which I am making slashes. What is that interval? So when do you think cos x becomes a cos 2x becomes a half? So this will become pi by 6. If I'm not wrong, this will be 5 pi by 6. Am I right? Correct? So your x will lie between pi by 6 to 5 pi by 6. So this is only in one interval. So how many such intervals will be there? For that you have to add the period of cos 2x. What is the period of cos 2x? Pi. Absolutely. I told you, for cos 2x you have to add a pi. So this is your answer, union of this for all n belonging to integers. Okay. So I think we have done enough in equations, more than enough. I'm not saying cos 5 pi by 6 is half. I'm saying cos 2x is half. Ansh. Okay. So till what is coming in the Keman test? Till the previous class. Okay. All right. Signing off. Bye bye. Take care. Good night. No, not this one. Because I did not envisage completing so much with you. Your class is very fast.